In 2012, a Spanish newspaper called Luka Modrić the worst signing of the summer. Too slow, too weak, too small for Real Madrid. They said he didn't belong. But Luka wasn't there to impress headlines. He was there to write history. Over the next decade, the man they once mocked became the heartbeat of the most successful club in football history. He won 5 Champions League titles, lifted the Ballon d'Or, and became the most decorated Real Madrid player of all time. But what makes Luka's story unforgettable isn't the trophies. It's the storm he survived before the spotlight ever found him. Born in 1985 in the war-torn village of Modric, Croatia, Luka's childhood was marked by tragedy. At just 6 years old, Serbian forces invaded his hometown. His grandfather, the man who taught him how to be a shepherd, was executed. Their home was burned to ground. Landmines surrounded their village, and Luka's family was forced to flee, becoming refugees. In the middle of chaos, football was his only constant. His family was so poor, they couldn't afford shin guards, so his father carved them out of wooden planks. While others trained in stadiums, Luka practiced in parking lots. While scouts searched for size and strength, he carried only vision, heart, and an unbreakable will. He was rejected for being too small, doubted for being too fragile, but Luka never stopped. He didn't complain. He adapted. He fought. And he proved every single one of them wrong. Because greatness isn't given, it's earned. And Luka Modrić, he earned it. Before Luka Modrić became a household name, he had to fight for his place in football. As a young player, club after club turned him down. He was too skinny, too quiet, too easy to overlook. But then came Dinamo Zagreb, the club that finally gave him a chance, kind of, even they weren't convinced. They sent him out on loan twice, hoping he'd prove something. And he did. Modric dominated every loan spell, forcing Zagreb to take notice. Over the next 3 seasons, he led them to 3 consecutive league titles, won Croatian Footballer of the Year twice, and became the best midfielder in the country. Europe started watching. Barcelona and Arsenal monitored him. But it was Tottenham Hotspur who pulled the trigger, signing him in 2008 for a club record £16.5 million. Now, Modric faced his toughest challenge yet. The Premier League, the most physical league in the world. Pundits doubted him. A technical player with a tiny frame, he wouldn't survive in England. And early on, it looked like they were right. He suffered a knee injury. Tottenham had a disastrous start to the season, and the media was ruthless, calling him a flop, a waste of money, another foreign signing who wouldn't adapt. But then Harry Redknapp arrived. He saw what others couldn't. He built the midfield around Modric, and everything changed. The so-called weak link became the most important player on the pitch. By 2010, Modric was dictating the tempo of every game. That season, Spurs finished top 4 for the first time in 21 years, qualifying for the Champions League. On Europe's biggest stage, he shined. Alongside Gareth Bale, he led Tottenham to iconic wins over AC Milan and Inter Milan. Even Sir Alex Ferguson admitted, Modric was the best player at Spurs. The biggest clubs came calling. Chelsea offered £40 million, but Tottenham refused to sell. Frustrated, Modric tried to force the move, even refused to play at the start of the 2011 to 2012 season. But when he returned, he delivered once again, leading Spurs to another 4th-place finish. Normally, that would mean Champions League, but Chelsea's miracle run stole the final spot. And then came the call that would change everything. Real Madrid. In 2012, Luka Modric finally made the dream move to Real Madrid for £30 million. But the dream quickly turned into a nightmare. Madrid was in chaos. The dressing room was divided, and Jose Mourinho couldn't figure out where Modric fit. With Xabi Alonso, Mesut Ozil, and Sami Khedira already commanding the midfield, Luka was left on the bench, game after game. By December, the Spanish media slammed him again, this time calling him the worst signing of the season. But Modric wasn't new to doubt. He didn't crumble. He fought. And then came the moment that changed everything. Champions League round of 16. Real Madrid versus Manchester United. Old Trafford. Madrid were struggling, on the verge of elimination. Mourinho turned to Modric, and the rest is history. Luka picked up the ball outside the box and unleashed a curling rocket into the top corner. That one strike silenced the critics, stunned Old Trafford, and reignited Madrid's Champions League campaign. From that moment, everything shifted. Under Carlo Ancelotti, Modric became undroppable. His composure under pressure, his vision, his ability to control games made him absolutely essential. In 2014, he played a vital role in helping Madrid finally capture La Decima, their long-awaited 10th Champions League title. And in the final, it was Modric who delivered the perfect 92nd minute corner that set up Sergio Ramos' legendary equalizer. Madrid would go on to win in extra time, and Luka Modric was no longer just a good signing. He was a Real Madrid hero. But that was only the beginning. If 2014 was a turning point, then the years that followed would define an era, because from 2016 to 2018, Luka Modric wasn't just great, he was untouchable. From 2016 to 2018, Luka Modric stood at the peak of world football. Under Zinedine Zidane, Real Madrid achieved the unthinkable. 3 consecutive Champions League titles, a feat no club had accomplished in the modern era. At the heart of it all was Madrid's legendary midfield trio: Casemiro, the destroyer, Toni Kroos, the metronome, and Luka Modric, the magician who linked it all together. In final after final, Modric delivered. Against Atletico Madrid, he provided another deadly corner for Ramos to score. Against Juventus, he set up Ronaldo with a pass, so precise it looked scripted. And just when the world thought it couldn't get any better, 2018 happened. Modric led a golden generation Croatia to their first ever World Cup final, winning the Golden Ball as the tournament's best player. And then, in a moment that stunned the footballing world, Luka Modric won the Ballon d'Or, breaking a decade-long Messi-Ronaldo duopoly. But Luka wasn't finished. While most players decline in their 30s, he only got better. In 2022, at 36 years old, he was still pulling the strings as Madrid conquered Europe again. His outside-of-the-boot assist to Rodrigo against Chelsea became an instant classic. Effortless, instinctive genius. In the final against Liverpool, Modric controlled the midfield like time itself bent to his rhythm. But beyond the passes, the trophies, and the brilliance, Luka became something even greater. A mentor, a leader, the standard-bearer for a new generation. He helped guide the likes of Valverde, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Bellingham, ensuring Madrid's future stayed bright. Even as his minutes were reduced, his impact never faded, because Luka Modric's greatness was never just about talent. It was about resilience, leadership, and heart. From war-torn beginnings to the summit of world football, he proved one thing beyond all doubt: greatness isn't given, it's earned. And Luka Modric, he earned every second of it.